Hello everyone, welcome to the hilarious moments. Dad Jiang told his daughter to hush, fearing eavesdroppers, and they'd talk at home. That night, while Sister Lang was at home researching, she noticed someone snooping on her info. Turns out it was her mom. Sister Lang was furious and grabbed her phone, ready to move back to school. Mom was all lovey-dovey, while Sister Lang took a sip of water to gulp her meds, and moved in closer saying, "Hurry up and swallow it quickly. You don't want to eat it either, do you?" Mom, oh man, this scene was spotted by Deputy Director Jiang just as he walked in. Sister Lang stormed out with her luggage, declaring she didn't want to eat. She said that, and Sister Lang angrily dragged her luggage. Deputy Director Jiang hurried after her, claiming to give her a ride back. Suddenly, a rare moment of solitude was created. Sister Lang thought her mom was a monster, and Jiang's heart skipped a beat. Sister Lang was furious when they found out about the plagiarism in Li Wen's work. Mom dragged her to see Professor Zhu. Years ago, Mom and old Zhu were quite the pair, but she ended up with law firm Jiang. Clearly a bad decision since Jiang failed 3 times. She hoped Sister Lang would get into law school, so she got her to plagiarize Professor X's paper to hit the goal. Professor Zhu wasn't too bothered by the plagiarism, he was more concerned about the little girl's character, and Mom went all in with threats and bribes. If the ex-lover wanted to expose this, her life might just come to an end. Jiang felt a wave of gloom wash over him. He thought it was his fault for failing. If he'd known this, he wouldn't have given up. Sister Lang said, even though it was hard to gather the water, she could try to wipe it clean. Thus pretend it never happened. Jiang urged his daughter to confess, but was interrupted by Sister Lang. As soon as his daughter left, Jiang decided he wasn't going home and returned to the office alone, lost in thought. He was puzzled as to how Yang Zongsen's computer ended up on his desk. Just as Jiang was mulling over this, a message suddenly popped up in the bottom right corner of the screen, scaring him to death. Old Yang burst through the door. Jiang hurriedly covered his notebook, standing up to ask this late-night visitor what he was here for. He brought up Sister Lang's mischievous behavior, and in that newly bought laptop, there was only dirt on her. Old Yang cast a glance at the nearby desk, and Jiang felt as guilty as a little thief. After a sleepless night, the next morning, he sent Yang a message saying the computer was in his possession. Yang stormed into the office, only to find Jiang pouring a cup of coffee. On the day of the incident at 12:25 p.m., Jiang pushed the door open to the lounge, and Professor Zhu immediately guessed his intent. Plagiarism isn't scary, what's scary is refusing to admit mistakes. With the little girl's character, she has no right to be a judge. This made Jiang furious. How dare someone who bought their way to professorship talk about his daughter's character? Sis' reply was dripping with sarcasm. No wonder Mom said marrying Jiang was the biggest regret of her life. As soon as he said this, Jiang's face almost hit the floor, when suddenly, X's phone rang. Jiang was fuming and then spotted a bag of white powder on the table, curiously opened it, and tasted its surprise. It wasn't. He recognized the smell from a drug lecture, and the next second, his eyes landed on the coffee cup. Jiang couldn't shake off the feeling that something was off about Deputy Director Jiang's confession. If Professor Zhu had chugged the whole bag of ice at 12:30, there's no way he could make it to the mock trial class. Jiang figured that he had left the scene immediately after pouring the drugs. Perhaps Professor Zhu hadn't consumed it straight away. He probably remembered the coffee during break. After checking for ages, he realized the killer was him. Jiang stated he would testify to clear his name and asked how to unlock his laptop as he left. Jiang thought for a moment and said he slipped some cash to the store clerk, while Sister Lang checked the school surveillance and discovered the one who took his computer was a guy in black. Curiously, a wedding ring was on the nameless paper. What a comedy. Why did that fellow take Sister Lang's laptop? Let's put a pin in that one. 3 days later, Professor X's case officially went to court. Prosecutor Lalu summed up his case, requesting to detain old Yang, citing his deep legal knowledge. He could destroy evidence during trial, like the defendant's mysteriously disappeared laptop. What a magical case. Talking about laptops, old Yang declared the computer was found. Prosecutor Liu insisted it was a key piece of evidence. The judge heard this and dismissed Le's demands. Meanwhile, on the other side, Sister Lang was dragged to the hospital for counseling, and upon arrival, received Paul's message. Deputy Director Jiang testified. Upon hearing this, Sister Lang gasped. If her paper got exposed, she'd likely get kicked out of school. In a panic, she snatched Mom's car keys and raced towards the courthouse. Just then, her phone rang. Deputy Director Jiang admitted he had lied in court, saying there was indeed a bag of sugar at the crime scene. The car stopped in front of the court. Sister Lang bolted inside, and lawyer Zhao Pio asked Jiang why he lied. Jiang responded, I truly hoped that Professor Yang Zongsen would be suspected as the murderer. Sister Lang, without any hesitation, rudely interrupted the discussion. The judge asked what was going on. Yang just said, oops, I accidentally dialed the wrong number. Zhao Pio seized the opportunity to ask Jiang if he was the real murderer of Professor Zhu. Sister Lang burst into the courtroom, shocking everyone. The father and daughter had a rare moment of honesty, with Sister Ling quietly complaining, if only they'd just asked, did you really kill someone? She did hope Professor Zhu would disappear, but she didn't murder anyone. They didn't need to admit to things he hadn't done just for her. After the court reconvened, Liu Jai demanded to replace the witness. Jiang's actions were tantamount to perjury. Xiao Pao objected. If Jiang's testimony was withdrawn, the sugary packaging wouldn't enter the court, leaving a bad impression. Old Yan looked indifferent, caring more about who the real killer was. After the first trial ended, Sister Ling expressed her gratitude to Yang. If it weren't for that coal, her father would have already been charged with perjury. Old Yang asked her why Sister Ling didn't want to admit her mistakes. She opened up a little, saying, she felt like a flower, twisted into a form that everyone else loved. Flowers in nature come in all shapes and sizes, yet everyone loves the quirky ones. People think that's how flowers ought to appear, and over time, gradually establishing a standard for selection. Every time she was twisted and hurt, the floral doctor would say, you'll be fine once you're potted. Flowers that aren't pretty only belong on the roadside, enduring the harshest weather. But potted flowers have it tough too. Each one has to bloom 65 times before returning to nature. She once thought of escaping. Those flowers who ran from the norm were treated like outsiders, while the ones who fit the mold were the true oddballs. They twisted themselves into a shape everyone likes, which is quite sad.